Hey guys, today I've been going through my video archives and I found some really cute clips of me and Rodney playing from a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't want to let this go to waste, so I thought we might as well use it to make an update video on what has been going on with Rodney, because I know a lot of you don't follow me on Twitter. Twitter is where I am the most active, so if you don't follow me, if you have a Twitter account, please go and follow me there. You will not regret it. We have a lot of fun over there. You'll get a lot of updates, sneak previews of upcoming videos and projects that I'm working on, cute pictures of the pets, video clips that I don't post anywhere else. It's just generally a lot of fun, so please do come and follow me there. We've now had Rodney for over 5 months. June is his 6th month with us. At the end of June, it will be officially 6 months since we found him and brought him into our home, and he's settled in so very well. But there's been a lot going on in that time. The first thing to note is just how much he has grown since we found him. We took him to the vet, I believe, the day after we found him, and he was weighed in at 13 kilograms. Well, his most recent vet trip was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was weighed in at 23.5 kilograms, which means over the course of 4 months, he had gained 10 kilos. That is a lot of weight for a dog to gain, and it's not only through him just putting on weight from having regular meals, but also because he has been growing up. He has grown about 4.5 inches in height. He is so tall now. We knew he was probably going to get a little bigger. We had no idea he was going to get this big, and it really highlights just how young he was when we got him. We still have no idea exactly how old he is. He's somewhere between 6 months and a year old, but given how much he's grown and how quickly he's grown, he must have been at the lower end of that age chart. Rodney's actually had lots and lots and lots and lots of vet trips since we brought him home. That's just something that happens when you take in a dog off the street, when you take in a dog with an unknown background. You're going to go to the vets a lot. And I think that's something that people don't always realize when you talk about rescuing a street animal, is that there's a lot more responsibility there. It's not like getting it from a shelter where they're often already vaccinated, already spayed and neutered, and where they've already had their full health check and the vet's confirmed everything is fine. You have to do all of that stuff, which means going to the vets pretty much every single week for the first few months of having them, and it can get very expensive, so that's something to keep in mind if you've ever considered taking a street animal. It is going to cost you. We're very lucky that here in Cyprus vets are quite reasonably priced. The cost of living in Cyprus is pretty low anyway, but when you go to the vet you don't expect to pay more than 10 or 20 euros for a basic check and maybe a couple of injections and some tablets, things like that. It costs about 20 euros, which I know to some people will sound shocking. It's shockingly cheap. I know in some countries you can take an animal for just a checkup and have nothing done to them and be charged far more than that. So I do acknowledge we are very lucky in that aspect, with most vet trips costing us 20, maybe 30 euros. I think the most expensive one was 40 euros, and that was because he had all his vaccinations, he had his microchipping, he had a lot of stuff done, parasite treatments, things like that, and I think that was our most expensive one with him. In total, we have spent about, I estimate, 200 to 250 euros on him over the last 5 months in just vet bills, so it does add up, but understandably not nearly as much as it can do for other people in other countries. Now, although I say Rodney's been to the vet lots and lots in the last few months, he is okay, he is fine. He's had a few stubborn issues with parasites and ear infections that just won't go away, so he's had to have a couple of courses of treatment for both of those, but he's also been having his general wellness checks as well. Every time you get your animal treated for something here, you have to bring them back usually a week or 2 weeks later, just so the vet can check them over and make sure everything's fine, they don't need further treatment, and oftentimes you will either get charged very, very little for something like that, or they won't charge you anything at all. He's doing well with his health though. He's just finished his 2nd course of medication for his repeat ear infection, so hopefully that won't come back again, and he's also up to date with his parasite prevention. He is parasite free now at last, and we are careful about keeping our dogs up to date with their parasite prevention, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue for him again. As long as his health stays where it is, he shouldn't need to go back to the vet now until his neutering operation, which will be during the summer sometime. We had to wait, or we didn't have to wait, we chose to wait a little longer than I think people expected us to, partly because we didn't know how old he was, and so you do have to be careful, especially with larger dogs, that you don't get them neutered too early on, so it's better to wait a little longer if you don't know exactly how old they are, but also because he has grown so much, that's been another reason for us waiting a little longer, because again, it's a good idea to wait until your dog has the bulk of its growth, its biggest growth spurts out of the way before you get them neutered. There are some suggestions that neutering can slow growth down, so waiting until after that big growth spurt is over is just erring on the side of caution. It shouldn't be much longer now though. It does seem like his growth has slowed down. He will of course continue growing even after he's been neutered. Big dogs continue growing up until about 2 years old. Smaller breeds of dogs can stop a little earlier than that. It does vary a little bit, but he's certainly not going to be having any more big growth spurts. He's not going to get enormous compared to what he is now. He may get another inch taller in that time, but that's about it. Also, I should talk about something I mentioned months ago when I introduced him in regards to his teeth. Now, I first said back then that he had been examined by the vet and the vet had noticed he had some dental problems. Well, something else they've noticed is that he actually still has a lot of his baby teeth, and because of how much he's grown, they did think he was older than he was, but because of how much he's grown, they now think he was actually younger. And so because of that, they want to wait a little more time before they perform any dental surgery. They want to wait and see if the baby teeth come out naturally, and if they do, that's great. He hopefully won't need any dental surgery, but if they don't, he's going to have that operation at the same time he is neutered, so they don't have to put him under twice. They really don't want to have to do that to him twice, because obviously it's stressful on the body, it's stressful for the animal. So that's another reason for waiting a little longer, just to see if those teeth come out naturally, and if not, he can just have the surgery done while he's out for the neutering. So I think that's brought you completely up to date on the medical side of Rodney's life. The only other updates really are in his behaviour, which there isn't much to say about. He's still just as boisterous and bouncy as he was when we first got him. He's really come out of his shell, but he's one of those dogs that doesn't understand just how big he is. He is like a bowling ball in a room and you are all the skittles. He is going to knock you down, he's going to barge past you. He has an interesting habit of just walking between your legs. Even if you're stood with a really small gap between your legs, he'll push his way through and drag you along with him. So he doesn't seem to get that he's not as small as he used to be. Rodney's house training has also gone brilliantly. He's pretty much fully house trained at this point. The only issue we have, although it's not much of an issue because it doesn't really concern me at this point, is that he does piddle when he's excited. The reason that doesn't concern me though is because that is pretty common behaviour in all puppies. All the puppies that we've had in the past have done that, so I'm pretty sure it's something he's going to grow out of. Right now it's not something that worries me. It's just he gets excited and he loses control a little bit. So yeah, that's everything that I can think of to update you on. I'm not sure there's anything else I've talked about in regards to Rodney on Twitter that I haven't let you guys know about. Like I say though, come follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up to date in the moment with all of my pets, not just Rodney. You can find links to all of my social media and my merch shop in the description box beneath this video and beneath every video I post, so those links are always available to you. You have no excuse really. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. You can also share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!